Why don't we start by you telling us your name and where you're from?
Originally or what?
Both.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Annie Laird, and I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. Then lived in Virginia and moved west in 1995.
Okay. And we are here on day 7, Fall Navratri, 2016, Haidakhandi Universal Ashram in Crestone, Colorado. And we are in Babaji's kutir. So maybe we'll just start, and I'll ask you how you first heard about Babaji and what your first experiences were with him.
Okay.
I guess you could talk to me.
Instead of right at the camera. That would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In 1992, I was doing rebirthing in Richmond, Virginia, and my rebirther said that Sandra Ray was going to be in Washington, D.C., and so I went up to hear her. I didn't know much about her at the time. So anyway, I was up there, and something just really connected with me. It was what was she talking about? Well, she was just giving her talk, but a little bit about Babaji, but I wasn't really connected then. So, but she was talking about going to India, and that fascinated me. I was in a life-changing situation. I was going through a terrific divorce. I'd been married 33 years and had made a decision to leave the marriage. And so I was going to go with a friend of mine to Africa. She had a daughter there that fall. And this was in July when I was meeting Sandra. And so when I was there, she said she was taking people to India. And I thought, that sounded like what I wanted to do. So I signed up for that, to go to India to have that experience. And so that was in July. She said I needed to take an LRT, a loving relationships training, that was kind of a prerequisite to prepare you for going to India. So I did that. That was in August. September, I was in India with Sandra for 6 weeks. And so in the meantime, before I actually got there, so confused. It was such a whirlwind. So I did the LRT. Let's see, that was in August. I also had done a fire workshop with Leonard Orr on July 4th, and I was at the person's house that was hosting him, and I had seen a picture on the mantle of his house, and I looked at it, and I took it. It was an 8x10. I took it off the mantle, and I said, "Who is this guy? I have been dreaming about him." It was Baba, and I didn't really, didn't know. So everything was a whirlwind. So my first RT was in Haidakhandi. I went with Sandra for the fall Navaratri, and anyway, I ended up going with Sandra 5 years in a row to Haidakhandi and spending 6 weeks a year with her, working with her, and that's Baba. My life is totally different from before and after Baba. I mean, once I had Baba in my life just kept evolving. I had the opportunity to meet and go to Sastraji's house, which was Baba's mouthpiece during his lifetime. So that was a wonderful opportunity. And also spent quite a bit of time with Muni Raji also. So that was again, things happened that I'm still trying to integrate all the things that happened to me from just being with these people. One of the fun things that happened, because I was going through this divorce, and then during this 5-year period of time, I met another man, and we ended up getting married, and I had the opportunity. He went with me to India, like the 4th time I went there, and we were at Sastraji's house, and Sastraji, he was so cute. Sastriji said, "I sent you a good man, didn't I?" So he took full responsibility for my present husband, which we've been married 22 years now, and he is he was a godsend from Baba. So.
Okay, so how did you first come to this ashram?
I came to this ashram again with Sandra in that was probably I don't know if that was 93 maybe. Anyway, I came here to Crestone, and that year again I went to India with her, which I think it was probably 93. After I got married in 94, I moved with my present husband to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and was living there, and hadn't come to the ashram even though I was that close. And I had a neighbor wanted she had heard about the ashram, and she wanted to have me. She wanted to go, and my husband was out of town, so she and I brought her up here to the ashram. And while I was up here at that time, it was just for a weekend. This was in 95, I guess. We were living in Santa Fe though. I got it that I should come up and do service work here 1 week a month, because I was only about 3 hours away. And so I talked my husband into doing it. So he and I came up here for a year. We would come up and just do karma yoga, whatever needed to be done. So then we were up here toward the end of that first year doing that, and I got it. We were on our way out, going back to Santa Fe after a week here, and I got it that we were supposed to move here. So we went home back to Santa Fe, and we made arrangements, and we rented a house in Crestone, and we came and we lived here for 7 years in a home, beautiful home here. So we were doing service work, and I ran the Mahalakshmi shop for 7 years here. So that was my service work to the ashram, but it was fantastic.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, I became a pujari. My husband also learned the fire ceremony, got approved by Muni Raji to do the fire, so he did fire ceremonies here. So, and like I said, I was pujari. Sometimes both of us would be pujari, when people were gone from the ashram. So it was a wonderful, wonderful time. So, and then after 7 years, we moved. It's like Baba said, okay, it's time to go. And it happens almost like that. He just gives you the call to go someplace else. So anyway, we now live in Montrose, Colorado, which is 3.5 hours from here. And still come back here. I stayed on the board for a few years and commuted, once a month to come to board meetings. But life is different and things change. So now I come for Navaratri. I think I've been doing Navaratris since 92. I've been to Navaratris every year. So it's been quite an event.
Okay, so maybe you could tell us about some encounters you've had with Babaji, either through other people or through dreams or signs and things. Yeah,
so in 92, my very first trip to India, I was down at the fire in the Dhuni in Haidakhandi, and there was a picture on the wall, and I looked at the picture of Baba, and I said, Baba, why do I feel all this love for you? And in my head, I heard, the reason you love me is because I am you. Well, I have never forgotten that. I mean, and still integrating it, of course. So, and then later on, I was reading different books of other people's encounters with Babaji, and I came across several times where people had the same answer. They had done the same thing. So I thought, well, it really was real, because you kind of question yourself. Was it, am I really imagining things? But I do have dreams of Babaji. I've had dreams of Mother. I've had dreams of Muni Raji. but I always know Baba is around me. I mean, he tells me different things. You know, like I was in my meditation room to come for Navaratri this time, and I have a little temple in my house, and I was in there the night before I came, and I have a lot of different murtis, and I have a murti that has been blessed by Sastrajis, which I've been doing puja to for 22 years. So it's a murti of Tara, and anyway, and I have lots of different, every murti you can think of anyway, but this one of course was blessed, and once they're blessed, you have to take care of them every day. So anyway, but I had, when I was in the shop here, I had bought some things for the shop, and then I also bought them for myself. After I bought them for the shop, I bought them back from the shop, and I had 2 other taras and a Buddha, but at the other two taras I had, it was like, you need to take those to the ashram and let them sell them. So, so I have bought many murtis from the shop and brought them back. I mean, seriously, we have a beautiful Nataraj that was in the Mother's Kirtir that we did puja to forever, and I had bought that because they were changing. They had a big Shiva Lingam, so I bought it from the shop, and I had it at my home for like 10 years, and I brought it back, and it's in the temple now. There's two other ones. We have a Durga in the temple also, as well as Saraswati that I had bought, done puja to, and then they came back to the ashram. So anyway, everything goes full circle. But Baba tells me stories like that, or tells me, I get these feelings like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't even thinking about it. So I've been very blessed. Baba takes care of me. I just trust. I keep surrendering, as we do, over and over and over again. But I do keep surrendering to him, and he doesn't fail me.
Yeah. So I was asking you about Muniraj and Sastraji and your encounters with them, and how that related with your Babaji.
Well, Sastraji, Sandra, because I was on her staff when we would go on these trips to India, she would take the staff to the assistants to Sastraji's house. When you went, it was a very humble house. He had a beautiful family. They treated us like we were God. The Indian way is so incredibly beautiful. But Sastraji, just being in the energy there, sometimes we would be flattened. We couldn't even hardly function there. We'd be all napping. It'd be real warm. But they would come and bring us tea in the afternoon. And, of course, there was always dinner. We did a fire every day at Sastraji's house, which was very powerful. But one of the most interesting times was it was in '94 again, and I was there, and I was living in Santa Fe, and I had brought I had been in a bookshop, and I bought this murti of Tara, and Tara is the one the green Tara is the one that takes you past all the anger, greed, lust. She's the vehicle that helps you to get over all of the 7 crocodiles. And so anyway, I had bought this before I went to India, and so then when I was packing, it was like, I want to go. She was talking to me. So I took her, and I had her in my room at Sastraji's, in the dorm room where we stayed. Sastraji never went in our dorm room when all the ladies were staying there. He comes in the dorm room. He sees my Tara. He says, you bring her to Havan tomorrow. I can give her the power. And so I wasn't asking for that. It happened. That's the way Baba works. And he was Baba's mouthpiece. So anyway, he blessed my Tara. He told me how to do the puja to her. His daughter, Pinky, brought anklets for me as a gift. I mean, they were just absolutely gracious. Just so gracious. He was just wonderful. Muniraji, he is the king of silence. So just being in his energy, his grace, how watching him do his puja, the way he just the way he handled things and the flow of everything. He was just beautiful to watch. And you just got it on an inside level about his grace. I just love being in that energy. So I have a YouTube thing which shows him doing his puja, and I love to watch it. It's just, again, it's the clicking of the bells and things, just watching him, but seeing how he makes his offerings and stuff, just his grace. That's all I can say.
Bole Baba.
Yeah.
So have you ever climbed Mount Kailash?
I climbed it in 1992, my first trip to India with Sandra, and we were at Haidakhandi and climbed up Mount Kailash there, and it was an interesting trip. One of the interesting things was it was wonderful. We were a party of probably about 15, and people were going too fast, and it's an elevation, and you're kind of spaced out anyway, and one of the leaders in the group said they made the slowest girl, the one that was way behind, be first. So anyway, we got up it, and I was a bit younger then, and so we got part way up, and they had told us to go. There was a sadhu living on the side of the mountain, and I don't know how old he was. I'm sure he was very, very, could have been hundreds of years old, as far as I know. Anyway, we had all brought nuts and raisins and gifts, for him. That was the thing to do. So he blessed it and gave us back the prasad. That was the kind of the Indian way, of course, to do it. So we continued on our journey, and one of the guys said, did you notice that he didn't have any clothes on? And I didn't even notice. It was also, everything was new to me anyway. I'd never been to India before. So that was my first climb up to Mount Kailash. And then I think it was, I'm trying to think what year it was. Anyway, it was a couple of years later. Maybe 3 years later, this was another time I thought, okay, I want to do this again. And somebody in Santa Fe had given me a white buffalo, and they wanted me to take it to there was another teacher I was working with, and she wanted me to take this white buffalo up to the top of Mount Kailash. So that was my reason for going again. Well, the trip was very hard that time for some reason, and we always had porters that would carry our water because you had to drink lots of water. And so I was really struggling. And what my porter that was in front of me, he said, he had a backpack on with the water in it, and he said, just hold on to the strap of my backpack. This one little strap, and that got me up. I thought I was not going to make it, and all of a sudden I was at the top. We get to the top, it was very grassy, I remember, very green. When I got to the top, I immediately just fell right down on the ground into the grass. It was so beautiful. And we had also brought lunch, so we went on up to where the fire pit was, where Baba had meditated for I forgot how many days now that he had meditated without food or water. And we all ate whatever we were having, and then it was like this mist came in, like this cloud, and everybody went to sleep. I don't know how long we slept. It could have been just 20 minutes or so, but it was just like we were knocked out. I don't know what all that was about, but anyway, it was again just this magical time. Magical time. Everything about Haidakhandi is magical.